If you don't know, welcome to Ohemaa Speaks. Good evening, everyone. So, today's topic, how I gave my life to Christ. Around 2013, that was my best year ever. Like, I said to myself in January, do you know what? I'm actually going to do 4 holidays. And I actually did. I went to 4 destinations and I was just like, do you know what? I've actually beat my record, because normally I go on holiday twice a year, but I was like, do you know what? I actually want to double it. So I went 4 times a year. It was my 25th birthday in 2013, so I was on a high. I was enjoying myself. I thought I was big. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was big. So we got into 2014, and you know, when you get into 2014 or even a new year, you're just like, you know what, God, I pray this year will be so good for me, and you know, I pray this year will be my year. 2014. Now let's get into that. So when 2014 hit, I was working for a mobile company, and it was good. I was still in uni, so you know, I was still enjoying myself a bit, but I just wanted that extra. I wanted something more. So an old friend introduced me to somebody, and I was able to be a manager of a business, which I was able to also keep for myself. So basically the business was also in my name, but I was working in partnership with somebody else. Dream, right? Who would not want that job? Like being your own boss, having your own staff members, being able to recruit by yourself, choosing your own work time. It sounded like the dream job, right? Well, this dream job actually, literally, it brought me to Christ. So I remember I went to church and I gave this big testimony, and everybody was so happy for me. I was happy for myself and so forth. So me working for the business, I got to meet different people. I got to sit with different people. I didn't get to see some of my friends and family a lot, because it was a job where sometimes I opened at 7 p.m. and then maybe finished at 4 or 5 in the morning. So you can imagine, it was very difficult. Anyway, during working there, having the business and so forth, I was able to meet somebody. So I started dating them. That is where the trouble started. Now I'm going to be real with you, okay? The person was a handsome guy, so he was easy to talk to, you know, and so forth. But did I know what I was letting myself into? Charlie, let me tell you something. See, this is where my accent comes in. So if you lot don't know, sometimes I break into a little Ghanaian accent, and then sometimes I go into my English accent. So I'm just letting you know from now, so you're aware. So we started dating and so forth, and then, you know, when ladies, when you meet a guy, he seems good at first and you get excited, and you know, you're like, you know, you start promoting it a little bit, and you're just like, oh, I'm in a relationship with this boy and so forth and whatnot. And then later on, they show you their true colours after you've got gassed up, should I say. So eventually, you know, it came to a point where the relationship wasn't going so good. Like, he wasn't calling as much, spending a lot of time with friends, not telling me to come out with the friends, giving certain excuses, which at that time I was thinking, do you know what? I'm in this relationship, I want to hold on to this relationship, because I felt like the other relationships I was in, it didn't work out, and I was really holding on to something. Now, you can't lie. Sometimes some of us women, we know the relationships we get into. Let's be real. Be real and frank with yourself. You know the relationships you get into. You know some of them, it's going to a dead end. But still, what do? We persist with the relationship because we don't want shame, we don't want embarrassment, and we generally think, I quote, think it's going to work. And most times, 90% of the time, it doesn't even work. So anyway, it came to a time I was, I think it was around September 2014, before that. And obviously I still had the business, but it came to a point that the business from August shut down. So I kind of like moved myself away from it a bit. And even though I was still going to church, I wasn't in it. I was just a church goer. Like, you know, when you just go church, just want to go church, pray a little bit, then bounce and go about your local business and do whatever you want to do, then keep coming back. I was literally that church goer. So it came to like end of August, September, and this guy I was seeing was acting really funny. He would stop calling. He wouldn't answer my calls. When you call him on a different number, that's when he decided to answer. The whole cheek of it. Answered on a different number. And it came to a point where I was kind of feeling really low about it. Like, I really got low about it. Like, don't get me wrong, you know. I've been in a relationship before and, you know, certain things have happened. But I felt like this time, I felt really, really low. Because I felt like this was something that I really wanted to work. And it came to a point like in September, I felt like I couldn't take it no more. Not saying I was going to kill myself or anything, because I'm not that hasty over a man. But I felt so low, like, I felt really low, like I had low self-esteem. And I was just feeling like, what's wrong with me? How come, you know, everything, you know, he's acting a certain way towards me. I'm a good person, you know, I'm helpful, I'm caring, and so forth. And it came to a point that I was even like pushing away some friends. So I decided to, like, one day I just sat to myself and I said, you know what? It's September. My birthday is in November. I'm going to be 26. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling so low? What is it that I feel like I haven't achieved after having a big 25th birthday, sorry. And then all of a sudden, I'm on my way to 26 and I'm feeling so low. So one of my closest friends, she was going through something as well. But we happened not to live in the same country. We lived in different countries. But we really felt each other at the time because we were really low. Like, I'm telling you, I used to cry every single day. I was so low. I think a lot of people don't even know that. Like, I was so low to the point that I was shying people out. And I was telling them, listen, I'm going on a 45-day construction day and I might not call you. And if you don't hear from me, don't get upset. I'm working on myself. But obviously some people didn't understand that. They felt like I was just being too much. They felt like, do you know what? Abigail's just acting a certain way. But at the same time, the reason why I was acting like that is because I needed to work on myself. Like, I don't think they understood how important it was. I was so low. I wrote a diary. Can you imagine the other day I found that diary? I wrote a diary and I just had some really low thoughts. And like, literally, I wrote 10 things that I wanted to do. And literally, I'd even write in the diary like, you know, I want to, you know, I felt low. I don't know if I'm going to cry today. Like, literally, my mood was up and down. Because I just didn't understand how I had a good year, 2013. I entered 2014 and it's cool. Then all of a sudden, like, things was just going. I lost a lot of money. I borrowed people grands. Still didn't get it back. Like, literally, everything was falling apart. My relationship with my parents, my relationship with my friends, relationship with myself. Like, I lost myself. Like, I couldn't believe this Abigail who's bubbly, who's always giving advice, who's always having loads of people around her, just wants to stay in one room and literally cry. That's how low I felt. But I did book a holiday in January to go to New York and Texas to go and see family because I have a lot of family in America. So I had something to look forward to. Bearing in mind, you know, from September I was still in this relationship. So when it was my birthday, I remember my birthday, I had a really big drink up. Everybody was at my house and so forth. And then I think the next day I was flying to New York. Can you imagine this so-called boyfriend didn't even turn on my own birthday? Can you imagine? Your own boyfriend not turning up at your birthday, giving you silly nonsense excuses. Can you imagine how you would feel? Come on, are you telling me that you would just sit there and just be like, oh, it's cool? And I had to make excuses. Do you know how embarrassed I was? How ashamed I was? I thought, you know what, I'm tired. I'm just tired. Went abroad. I even went abroad. Did you even know the person didn't even know that I even went abroad? It's not until I got there, they were like, oh, I'm coming to your house. These times, I'm in New York, you know. I'm fly high. I'm somewhere else. So it took me a while. When I was in America, I actually thought, you know, I actually got to know myself again. And I was just like, you know what? I need to get it right with myself. I need to come out of this relationship. So I did come out of this relationship. I came out of it, and no, let me not even tell a lie. The person broke up with me, you know, on holiday. Broke up with me before I even broke up with them. And I was even feeling sad about it. I'm laughing because I'm telling you, thinking about it now, yeah, when you're not in that situation anymore, you can laugh about it. And then after, the person didn't realize that they broke up with me because they were so intoxicated with alcohol, because he was a very heavy drinker. And then after, I was able to break up with him. And then my cousin took me to his church when we was in Texas. He just took me there, and I just sat down and I thought, why am I here? Because my cousin actually tricked me. He said he was taking me somewhere. So all of a sudden, I went to his church and I sat down and I thought, you know what? I need to get it right with God. When I get back to London, I need to get it right with God. I need to go back to my church and I need to find myself, because at the end of the day, where I'm going is a dead end. Where else am I going? So when I got back to London, I came back and I know I had to get it right with God, but I wasn't making excuses, but I didn't know how to get it right with God. So literally, December came, the last service, you know, when you have the New Year's Eve service at church. And I remember, like, we normally had prayer requests, so I had a paper and I wrote it down what I wanted my prayer request to be. And I just was always praying that, 2015 won't be the same as 2014, because 2014 was a dreadful year for me. I lost a lot. I lost the business. I lost money. I nearly lost myself. I lost relationship with friends and family. Like, literally, I felt like I wasn't me. Like, do you get how it feels not to be yourself? Like, seriously, I was at a low. I was at a low. So then, at the time, and it's funny because 2014 I was financially secured, mate. I'm not saying I was balling, but I had money. So I was very secured until later on when I had come back, and as I said, it's the New Year's Eve service. And I remember Pastor was like, if you feel like 2014, you don't want to have a repeat of 2014, and you want to enter 2015 fresh, new, and you want to make that new bold step, and you just don't want what you had in 2014 and 2015, I dare you to take a bold step and give your life to Christ. Now, I'm sitting there and I'm not even thinking. All I kept on thinking in my head was, I don't want 2015 to be like 2014. So something has to change, because if I'm using myself and nothing is changing, then there's only one person that can change it for me, and that's God. Because I haven't got anything to lose right now. I have lost everything. Literally, I felt like I lost everything. So what is there else for me to do? So I walked up to the altar and I gave my life to Christ. But literally, I didn't feel like I was walking by myself. I really felt like I was walking with someone else. To the point that after I stood at the altar and gave my life to Christ, literally, I had to give my life to Christ again the next day, just to make sure that I was making that step. Okay, so I felt relieved. But I'm not gonna lie, when I went into 2015, and that's when I started my journey with Christ, just a bit of me, just a tiny bit of my human self was just like, if I can go back into 2014 and just get back all the money that is owed to me, all the things that I have lost, I could just jump back into 2015 and start again. But that's not reality, is it? That's just a dream. That's just a pass by. And that obviously didn't happen. So 2015 was a start for me, to start afresh, to let go of the old and come with the new, you know. And I felt like a whole heavy burden had come off my shoulders, literally. I started 2015 in a new space. I started 2015 not being broken, because I felt like 2014 I was broken. I was not that same bubbly Abigail you see outside and she's chatting away at the bus stop or walking down a local area and everybody knows me. I was literally broken. So starting 2015 was just a whole new start for me, literally. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going to be real with you. I stopped clubbing years ago. But I was still doing things that I shouldn't be doing. Yeah, I was drinking, I was, doing certain things that, maybe you shouldn't be doing. And when I actually sat down and reflected my life and I said, you know what? I've given my life to Christ. I can't do the same things that I was doing before. Even now when I sit here and I think to myself and I look around people around me and I'm just like to myself, you've given your life to Christ. How can you act like you was in the world when you're not in the world, you're in Christ? There's certain things that need to cease. And let me be real with you. When I got into 2015 and I'd given my life to Christ, I remember specifically, I sat in my house with one of my good friends and one of my sisters. And we sat down and this was new to them because a lot of people around me in my circle hadn't given their life to Christ. So I felt like I was the first one. And so when they asked me like, Abigail, certain things you got to give up. I said, yeah, of course. I'm ready for the journey with Christ. I'm ready. That's why I came to the altar. I'm taking it seriously. Otherwise, I would have walked there. Let me be real. Why would you walk to the altar, give your life to Christ, and you're not going to do things properly? What's that about? You might as well just sit down in your chair and do what you're doing. So when they asked me, they were like, Abigail, do you know what, yeah? That means that you've given your life to Christ, so that means that no sex. I boldly looked into my sister and my friend's face and I said, listen, if I meet somebody, I'm not going to sleep with no one till my wedding day. And I held that vow. They sat there and they laughed at me. Like literally they was on the floor, kicking, laughing. To the point I was just even looking at them like, even you lot are not even taking me seriously. But I took myself seriously. There's certain things I didn't do anymore. Why should I? Why should I do that if I know I'm renewing myself with Christ? So the reason why I decided to share this video with you is that, listen, I don't know what anyone is going through, but I'm just going to be real with you. Sometimes us women, as I said before, we know what's not good for us. And sometimes the things that make us stay in dead relationships, there's no point. If you know he's not treating you good, why can't you just walk away? If you know that he's sleeping with Sally down the road, but you want to sleep with him because you feel like you're going to sleep with him better than Sally, then you're wrong. That's not going to make him stay. Having a baby with somebody just to say that he's going to stay, a baby doesn't make a man stay. These little things that us as women, we know in our head. Why don't we use our mind and use our heads properly to do things properly? And that's what I learned in 2014. I learned, you know what? I need to depend on myself. If Abigail's not okay, nobody's okay. I need to be all right with myself. So me getting all right, I need to be all right with the Lord. I need a path. Listen, being a born-again Christian is not something that I'm going to say you're going to be perfect every day when you step in. No, it's a journey. Every single day, it's a journey. And you just got to take your time with that journey and feed yourself with the word. I'm telling you, being a born again and not reading your Bible daily, it's like you're not feeding yourself properly. How can you sit there and, for example, come from a certain country and you don't eat a certain food, but you know that's your culture food? It's like that. You need to feed yourself with something for you to progress, Sometimes as well, people need to understand the people that you've walked with for 10 years, it's not the same people that you're going to be walking with after you've given your life to Christ. Sometimes you have to let go. Me, I've lost some people on the way. I have lost some people on the way, but you know what? I don't even miss them. I pray for them instead. Because at the end of the day, one day they might come knocking on my door and they might come and say to me, you know what, Abigail, I've wronged you. I was wrong. I didn't understand your path and now I do. What can I do? Open my arms with them and say, you know what? I thank God that you've come back here, and I'll pray for you. I can't judge them, because at the end of the day, if I want you to, I don't have to ask you to understand me. Am I paying you money that you should come and understand me? No. At the end of the day, you will find your own path. So I'm just trying to make myself out there and say to anyone that, listen, if that's the verge that you're on, like how I was 2014, and you're not sure, listen, what is stopping you? Nothing's stopping you. Giving your life to Christ is free, you know. It's not this. It doesn't cost you anything. So if you know that you've reached that point in your life where you're like, do you know what? I need to get right with myself. Don't hide it. One thing I did as well, I hid it. And I only had that one friend to talk about. And even now, when we talk about it and we laugh about it, we laugh and we joke because we're in different stages in our life. We have progressed. But it's funny. Some people that didn't understand our journey are where we are 2014. And sometimes you look at them and you think to yourself, rah, you didn't understand me, you know, at 2014. And now, all of a sudden, you're on that same path and you don't even know where to turn because you feel ashamed. But never feel ashamed though, because we're all women. We're all sisters. So now and again, you may have that annoying friend that you don't look to. Or you may have that friend that you think to yourself, she's all right, she's always smiling. There's a big chance that just because she's always smiling, she's not all right here. So always check for your friends, because sometimes they may do things erratic. They might not call you for a certain reason, or they might say they're keeping themselves guarded, but keep checking on them. Make sure that you're always there to receive them. And that's something that I'll always disclaim and tell you lot. Always check for someone, because you just never, ever know. So guys, that was my story. And I hope you've been blessed with my story. I really, really pray that you've been blessed with my story. And I hope, you know, if you're on that verge, I'll keep praying for you and make sure that you have the right journey. And even the ones on the journey, I'm going to encourage you that, listen, there's some things that will come your way. There's some things that will come your way to tempt you. But keep your eye on God. Because I'm always telling you, it doesn't take time, it takes God. So just keep looking to God, and I'm telling you, things will be done well. Guys, I'd like to say thank you for watching my channel today. It was a blast talking about myself, but also encouraging anyone out there. If you've got any questions, please feel free to email me. At the bottom, I'm going to put it down there, bookoffaith@hotmail.com. I've also got my blog, and please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to comment below. Love you all. Take care. Bye.